you don't need to do much to be inspired by the women you supposedly are helping. It has been a journey of lessons. From the first trip to Croatia, when I was intending to only help rape victims, because that's what we hear about in here. And the first lesson was the victimhoods come in all kinds of shapes, and you don't have to be raped in order to be a victim. The woman who helped me learn that was a middle-aged woman with 2 children, and was telling me about how she escaped from her village and in the forest, and she kept on turning around and seeing her house being burnt. And she slept 2 nights in the forest with her 2 sons. And as she was telling me that, she was shaking and crying, and that was a moment in which I realized, who am I to say, I can only give you help because you've been raped, but I'm not going to give you help because your house has been burnt. And who am I to judge who is a victim and who's not? So it has been a series of learnings from the women that I have been helping. Or supposedly helping. The biggest one is the notion of courage. I don't think I work with women. Women for Women International works with women survivors of wars. And we focus on helping them move from victims to survivors to active citizens. And often when we talk about women survivors of wars, we talk about them only as victims. And we don't talk about them as incredible, courageous, resilient women. One of the things that inspired me to write my own story was a woman who was 55 years old in Congo when I met her. Illiterate, was raped, her 9-year-old daughter was raped, her 20-year-old daughter was raped, her 23-year-old daughter were raped, all in front of her. And after she was describing her story, she said, I've never told anybody but you my story. And I told her, what do you want me to do with it? Should I keep it a secret, or should I go ahead and tell the whole world about it, as I usually do? And so she looks at me, and here's an illiterate woman. And she said, if I can tell the whole world about my story, and that would have stop other women from facing what I faced, I would. But I can't. You go ahead and tell the world, just not the neighbors. And it was really another turning point in my life, because I don't think we give the notion of courage credit. And if anything, these women survivors of war helped me to learn courage. That was a moment. Up until then, I had kept my secrets, my story with Saddam and with my family, knowing Saddam, a secret, and I vowed never to tell it to anybody. And for all I know, I could have gone the rest of my life without telling anything to anybody. And that woman taught me that you have to break one's silence. That only when we break that silence can we actually break that cycle of vicious violence and injustice and oppression. So the external part of what helped me going, that passion, is really the women that I work with. One of the things that I've learned in the process is war is like a flashlight on humanity. It shows you the worst of humanity, and it shows you the best of humanity.